All right. So, when it comes to talking about art on the internet, I notice easily could get into a very messy situation. I mean, oftentimes that's what the internet is. It's just like a cesspool of like debates and opinions, and just over the years of just being part of that toxic mess of arguing people online and just getting overly irritated at, some certain things, which says a lot of stuff about, myself and, everyone that gets mad over stupid things on the internet. I've learned some things, and I just want to share some of those things. So, the main problem here is there's a lot of unnecessary arguments over things that are subjective, like art, movies, shows, books, music, whatever, that happen online. And why do these big blow-ups happen over art? I believe that there are two things. Number one, posting unprocessed thoughts and initial reactions as final judgments. Number two, the amount of people that do this. So let's go with number one. Unprocessed thoughts and initial reactions as final judgments. That's a wordy way of saying think before you speak or think before you post. So a high school teacher taught us this, and it was a useful concept that stuck with me. He pretty much said, when you see art, and if you think it's dumb or amazing or whatever, find out why you think that. Because when you see or hear some form of art, most likely you'll have some type of reaction to it. Either you'll have a good experience or a bad experience, you'll love it or hate it, dislike it or like it, or maybe it was very interesting, or maybe it was very boring. Those are your reactions. Now, those reactions lead to an unprocessed thought, which is most likely the first thing you say to your friend or whoever you're with, and you say something like, man, that was kind of dumb, or man, this is amazing. Now, this isn't a problem. I'm not talking about your in-person debates or arguments with your friends, just, that when you're actually talking with someone. Now, the problem I'm talking about happens when you post it. Because when you post it, you're tossing your opinion into the cesspool that is the internet and adding to all the other opinions about this thing. So let's just say you watch a movie and you liked it. Or let's just say you loved it. So that was like your reaction. And, that's great. Good for you. Glad you liked it. But then this initial reaction leads to this unprocessed thought. Something in you wants to say this is the best movie ever. And you want to post that. You have your initial reaction, leads to an unprocessed thought, but now you want to post that thing. It's unprocessed, but you toss it onto Reddit or Instagram or whatever, and now it's there, along with everybody else that said that same exact thing. So that's a problem. You have a post out in the internet, shoving its face into everyone else's feed, and it has this highly unprocessed thought that doesn't really have much else attached to it. Now, you painted a target onto your back, and you painted a target on the movie's back. Because there's going to be a good amount of people that just don't agree. And they have a right to. You shoved your opinion into their face. Now they have a right to shove their opinion back into your face. And to dislike your post or comment, whatever unprocessed thoughts they have. You gave the internet an unprocessed thought. Now the internet's going to give their unprocessed thoughts to you and to the movie. Because not everyone's going to agree with your statement. Okay, so the problem with this sentence is that it uses objective language for something that is ultimately subjective. It's okay to say 1 + 1 = 2 because that is something we must all agree on. When you say something objective, you're basically forcing everyone to look at the belief and also agree with it. You're forcing your belief onto others. But if everyone agrees with that belief, then it's all good. It is not okay to say anchovies on pizza are the best food ever because it truly is not. People have different tastes. Not everyone will agree. So you cannot force everyone to agree with that opinion. So this is how you could share an opinion that is worth sharing online. First of all, if you're just really lazy and you don't want to do much work, you could just edit your post to do something like this. So let's try it together. So you have your post that says, this is the best movie ever. Most likely it's in all caps. First thing you could do, make it all lowercase, take out the exclamation mark, stop trying to make it this big old celebration that it really is not. Second thing to do, remove the phrase, this is. Because this is preparing itself for an objective statement. This is cold, this is warm, this is red, this is green. starting an opinion with this is, again, means you are forcing everyone to agree with it. If I come up to you with a dog and say this is a cat, I am forcing you to believe in that. So I'm speaking for myself and I'm speaking for you. This is a cat. But you will naturally respond, this is not a cat, this is a dog. And you can see that's the foundation for an argument, because now we're both using objective statements for this dog. But what if instead of forcing you to believe it, I just tell you that this is what I believe it to be? So what if I start the sentence with I think, or for me, or personally? Because now I'm not forcing you to believe in this thing. I'm just letting you know what I believe. I believe this is a cat. And then at least you know that that's just what I believe. I'm not forcing you to believe in it. And then you could say cool, and you could think that I'm crazy behind my back, or, whatever.
Is that your dog?
I don't know her dog. That's a cat.
You said that's a cat?
Yeah.
No, that's a dog.
It's not a dog.
That's a dog. What the f?
So let's take a look at our sentence now. I believe this is the best movie ever. Pretty solid, but really not enough. The word best, it's still objective. That invites a lot of people to question, well, what you think is really good, what you think is the best. If I say I believe Terrifier is the best horror movie ever, a lot of people will be like, well, have you seen The Exorcist or Psycho or, some of the best rated classical horrors of all time? Because now they're going to shove their opinions and, they want me to see what they think is the best. Because the best, again, it's a very objective word. So next thing you guys could do is change it from best to something that isn't so objective to maybe like, I believe this movie was pretty good. Or simply, I liked this movie. Now, these are really good statements because now when this goes into other people's feeds, when they see something like that, well, you're not forcing people to believe in your opinion. You're just letting everyone know, hey, I like this, and that was, that's pretty cool, right? And this is something that people that do not agree with you could agree with because they could say, well, that's cool for you. Now, if you want some extra brownie points, if you really don't want to create discourse, learn to acknowledge the other side. When it comes to art, there are many opinions on both sides that have value to them. And you have to acknowledge that. Every opinion around pineapple on pizza has value to it. Not a lot, but still value. Something worth listening to. You have to know that movie you liked has faults in it. You have to know the movie you hated actually has some good things about it. So acknowledge the other side. So use some type of phrasing where you acknowledge the opposite opinion, where you know that those people are there and they might read your statement and that you are acknowledging them. So a phrase like, I know it's not for everyone, but, and go on from there. So let's take our sentence and let's just add that terminology. And you could say, I could see why not a lot of people will like it, but for me, I think this movie was pretty good. Post that will not add to discourse and won't add to stupid arguments because it's not objective and it acknowledges the other side. Now, the problem with this though, it's still lazy. It doesn't add much to the whole conversation. Big question is, should you even post it? I would say not really. But if you really want to post something about it, you got to do some work. So your initial reaction could have something valuable and worth discussing, but you have to find out what that is. So get a journal and brainstorm. Write down whatever. Don't be scared of writing down anything wrong because this is your journal. No one's going to read that, hopefully. So, whatever. Start with that crazy phrase, this is the best movie ever. But then go deeper. Ask questions like why? What did I like about it? Which characters did I associate with? Which part was most exciting? What did the director, the producers, costume designers, actors, actresses, soundtrack, whatever, do well? What did I like about the ending or, this or that? These are ideas worth discussing and adding to the conversation because these posts create discussions that all people can feel invited to engage in. Not just people that liked it, not just people that hated it, but just everyone. So even though if not a lot of people like the movie, you gotta think about this question. What's something a lot of people at least could acknowledge was done well, or maybe even true about this movie that you liked? You could say something like, the costume design was on point and definitely for that time period, or I really like the way they do their accents, or something about the story. These are things even the other side could probably acknowledge and agree with. And it adds something worthwhile to the discussion versus just another opinion about I liked it or I hate it or the. And again, if you want some brownie points, acknowledge the other side. Because, I think this is something we learn in school when they have students review another student's work. You always have to say two things. What was done well, what could be improved. So, bottom line about this part is no one really needs to read another "I love this movie" or "I hated this movie" post. Those do not add to the discussion. Those only create more arguments for, the whole discussion around this certain thing. But I think that posts that go into the specifics of what was done well and what can be improved create great posts for discussions. All right, now the second thing, the number of people that post about it. Before you make your post, a good thing to do is look up if it's already been posted. Because imagine this, a movie comes out and no one talks about it. Let me ask this, will there be arguments? No, because there is no place to argue about it. But that's not what happens, is it? What happens? A movie comes out and everyone and their mom wants to post their unprocessed thoughts, and now your feed and everyone else's feed is filled with things like, "Oh yeah, this movie's the greatest thing ever, you should watch it," or "This movie's the worst thing ever, you shouldn't watch it." Now, ironic thing about it is that all these posts actually invite more posts to counter those posts. So now you have a bunch of posts at war with the initial posts. And then on top of this, you have media outlets who have nothing better to do, and they see all these posts and then they make articles about this post, thus attracting more people who were blind to the whole argument online now to go ahead and engage in it. And now you have all this stupid debacle, and now you're wasting your time arguing with a random person online on a random Tuesday night about this topic when you could be doing something better. So on Reddit, here's something valuable I learned. Search the post up before you say something about it. Let's try it. Type in your movie and then type in if you thought it was good or bad, and then type in the word Reddit on Google. So let's try it. Wicked good Reddit. Bam! Look at all these posts. You have these posts asking if it's good, and you can read all the comment section and things like that. And at the end of the day, do you really have to make a post that said Wicked was really good? I don't know. There's really a lot of content here about it. Another thing you could do on Reddit is look for official discussions where you could post your comment or even upvote other things rather than make another post. That way, all the discourse and arguments and toxicity could just remain in just one post, and all these other posts don't have to be made. They could just remain in one place. Because I'm telling you, when you're scrolling through a movie subreddit and you see 15 posts a day about one movie, if it's like really good or really bad, it gets annoying, and it leads to discussions about movies being overhated and overrated because the amount of posts about that movie coming in, when really it can all just be narrowed down to one post and everyone can just go on there, comment, upvote someone that agrees with you, downvote someone that you don't agree with, and go on your way. Anyways, I know this is not going to create world peace, and stupid arguments online will continue to happen, and you could bet I'm going to be baited into those arguments as well, but I at least hope someone learns something, and that's enough for me. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video.